Meron ba kayong CCTV?
Meron po, Mr. Chair.
Merong CCTV nandun mismo sa pag-withdraw ng pera.
Yes po. dun sa-
CCTV yan, correct? So makikita nyo ngayon yung mga tao sa CCTV na nag-withdraw, correct?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't have knowledge po kung sino yung companion ni Ms. Gina Acosta.
Kasi alam mo, Mr. Chair, ang nakakapagtaka dito sa Office of the Vice President, mabilis silang pumirma ng disbursement voucher para mag-issue ng cheque. Tumawag pa sila in advance sa Land Bank para siguraduhin na may pera ang bangko para withdraw yung pera. Kaso lang, wala naman silang nilalagay na action para pangalagaan yung pera. Hindi nga paglalagyan ng 125 million, wala na silang pakialam kung saan nila ilalagay. Kasi ang sinabi ni Ms. Sanchez kanina, yung vault ay para lang sa petty cash. Sabi niya may cabinet dun, but I doubt you'll put 125 million pesos in a cabinet. Not unless that cabinet is secured and large enough to hold that amount. So what I don't understand, Mr. Chair, is how come they are so reckless and carefree with such a huge amount. And this is just 125 million. We're not even talking about the 37 million that was withdrawn from the DepEd. So for me, Mr. Chair, this is unacceptable.
Mr. Chair,
Congressman
I just would like
Abante.
to ask a question to the Land Bank, no? In relation to the question of Congressman JJ Suarez.
Mr. Chair, very
Mr.
quick,
Baya?
one interjection lang. May pagpatuloy lang. Very quick interjection. And be just one answer. Kanina kasi nagtanong tayo dun
Yes,
sa lalagyan.
Congressman Garin.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, hindi ko lang po natapos yung tanong ko. Kay Ma'am Camposano, Ma'am, yung sa 37.5 million, ano po ito? Ano pong linagyan?
2 bags, ma'am. Two big bags.
Anong klaseng bag po?
Parang ganun din po, parang mga gym bags din.
So,
or-
gym bags. So, 37.5, ang laman ng bawat isa is more or a little less than 20 million each.
I am not sure.
Sino po ang nag-pack? Mr. Chair. Sinong naglagay dun sa bag?
The payee.
The pay. Sino po ang nagbigay ng pera?
The teller.
Sino po ang nagbitbit palabas?
The payee.
Siya lang po mag-isa.
Mayroon po siyang kasama.
Ilan po ang kasama?
Isa po.
Yeah. Last question, Mr. Chair. Bumalik tayo dun sa tanong natin dun sa kabilang land bank. In your case po, sa DepEd, kanino pong sasakyan ang sumusundo dun sa payee? Naka-red plate po ba or private na sasakyan?
Wala pong sasakyan. Lumalabas po sila sa may backdoor po namin.
So walang sasakyan? Nag-jeep lang sila pabalik ng DepEd?
No, ma'am. Ang location po ng branch namin is within the compound of the DepEd.
Oh,
So lumalabas
okay.
sila sa fire exit leading to the DepEd compound.
Okay, no further question, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, baka ko makalimutan, baka nakalimutan ko na eh. So, kung tanungin si Ms. Abaya dito, meron ba kayong CCTV?
Meron po, Mr. Chair.
Merong CCTV nandun mismo sa pag-withdraw ng pera.
Yes po. dun sa-
CCTV yan, correct? So makikita nyo ngayon yung mga tao sa CCTV na nag-withdraw, correct?
Yes, Mr.
I'd like to
Chair.
make a motion, Mr. Chair, that they submit to us a CCTV. In
Details.
which
Yan, na-move na.
during the withdrawal.
Na-move na yan kanina pa, Mr. Chairman. This representation moved for the land bank to submit that CCTV.
Para wala na tayong question
Vote.
dito. Kasi
Vote.
mukhang hindi alam ni Tony Sanchez eh. Palagay ko, Mr. Chair, medyo, ewan ko ha, parang alam nyo eh, Tony Sanchez, hindi pwedeng di nyo alam eh. So ngayon, malalaman natin through the CCTV.
Okay, with the indulgence of Congressman Rog, the Senior Deputy Speaker. The Chair would like to recognize the Senior Deputy Speaker, Don Gonzales.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is interrelated with my question last hearing kay Gina Acosta at saka yung sa nagpag-end ka sa Show Boulevard. In my recollection last hearing, I asked already that the 37.5 million in cash on first and second, third quarter, in-encash po yun dun sa Land Bank DepEd compound. Tama ho ba? And my question there is, sino ang tumanggap dun sa pera pag ni-receive niya yung pera? Di ba cheque po yan, ano? Pag ina-encash mo yung cheque, ang tatanggap, sigurado kung paharda yan, siya po ang pipirma. That's my number 1 question. Number 2 question is, yung 125 million, in my recollection, pina-encash yan nung July 11 or 13. July 13, 2023, sa Show Boulevard, yung 125 million. And then the last check of 37.5, alos sabay po to. Yung last check ng 37.5 million and the 125 million, sabay po yan in-encash halos sa Show Boulevard at saka doon sa DepEd branch ng Land Bank. Pangatlo po, ang address ni Mr. Paharda is walking distance only from DepEd Land Bank compound up to the residence of Mr. Paharda. My question is, sino po ang tumanggap, receive, doon sa 125 million sa Show Boulevard and the 37.5 sa DepEd compound ng Land Bank? Yun po, Mr. Chairman, that's my two questions. Tanong ko po yan last hearing, pero wala po yung cashier na sinasabi nyo. Salamat po.
Miss Nenita Camposano, you're recognized.
With the DepEd branch, it's the payee himself who received the cash.
Who is that, ma'am?
Edward Paharda.
Edward Paharda. Okay. Yung sa 125 million, ma'am,
For the 125 million po, Miss.
sa bangko, na ang nag-receive katunayan si Gina Acosta at si Mr. Paharda.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Congresswoman.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. With the indulgence of Congresswoman Pami, the Chair would like to recognize Congressman J. Konghun.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang tanungin si, sandaling katanungan lang kay Attorney Lopez, no? Attorney Lopez, pagdating ba sa security, lalong-lalo na pag nagwi-withdraw, no, ang inyong SDO ng ganyang kalalaking pera, hindi ba nakikipag-coordinate sa inyo na security yan? Usually, pag nagwi-withdraw ng pera?
Attorney Lopez.
Dahil ikaw ang chief of staff, ikaw ang namumuno ng mga staff ng Office of the Vice President. Lahat ng mga tao rito, under sa'yo yan, sigurado. So they report directly to you. Being the chief of staff. Ngayon, tanong ko, hindi ba humingi ng security si Madam Acosta sa pag-withdraw ng ganyang kalaking pera?
And, Your Honor, in this case, I am the Undersecretary and Chief of Staff of the Office of the Vice President, but there are certain matters that are not within my area of expertise. I handle purely, Your Honor, all the institutionalization and implementation of all our socio-economic projects. And in this particular case, Your Honor, as regards the matter of security, etc., these are admin concerns.
Tama po. Sa mga proyekto ng Office of the Vice President at kasama sa mga proyekto ng Office of the Vice President, yung paggamit ninyo ng confidential fund na withdraw ni Ms. Acosta. Siyempre po, kayo po ang nakakaalam kung saan at paano ito ginagastos. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Dahil programa po, nasasabi niyo po, programa ng Office of the Vice President.
Your Honor, maybe things in context. I actually I oversee the daily operations of the Office of the Vice President. For that matter, a big volume of the work that I do is actually to, number one, institutionalize and implement all our socio-economic programs. For that matter, Your Honor, implementation of all institutionalizing programs would mean it's more of crafting policies, producing operational manuals, and ensuring that our socio-economic programs are implemented uniformly and equally across our satellite offices and extension offices across the country. For that matter, Your Honor, I am also...
Madam, hindi niyo po sinasagot yung katanungan ko eh. Pinapaganda niyo lang po yung explanation ninyo eh. Opo, pakisagot na lang po ng diretso para nakakahiya po sa kasama ko sa Kongreso. Pakisagot na lang po ng diretso.
Your Honor, with all due respect, yun po yung role ko sa Office of the Vice President. It is really, another would be to handle all forms of communication, whether internal or external communications.
Kaya nga po, wala po ba kayo natanggap na request coming from kay Gina Acosta para sa security ng paglalabas ng pera sa Land Bank? Dahil malaking pera po yun na para sa mga proyekto po ninyo. Katulad nga po ng sinasabi mo.
In my case, Your Honor, for this instance, there is no request for security, but I would assume because security falls under admin concerns, it would really be best addressed to the Director for Admin, Your Honor.
Pero dahil maliit po yung opisina ninyo, alam po ninyo na nag-withdraw po ng ganong kalaking pera si Ms. Acosta nung araw na yun.
No, Your Honor, because, again, there are matters in the office that I am not privy to, Your Honor. So,
Ma'am, parang ang lumalabas, hindi alam ng admin, hindi rin alam ng Chief of Staff. So parang nakakaalam lang na ito si Gina Acosta at saka si BP. Tama ba?
Your Honor,
Parang hindi naman po kapanipaniwala na yung security lang, simple security reason. Request, hihingin pa ni Gina Acosta kay BP.
Your Honor, that is the truth. There is no request for security to me as regards that.
At
And
parang
there has
hindi rin
never
naman
been-
po parang hindi rin naman po kapanipaniwala na didiskarte lang nun si Gina Acosta mag-isa.
Your Honor, I am not given the roles that I play and I perform and the functions that I perform in the Office of the Vice President. I am not really
Mr.
privy.
Chair, parang napaka-imposible po na ikaw ang chief of staff, na under sa'yo yung
At
mga
saka
tao na yan,
and
na
yung
hindi mo
pera
alam
pong-
ko.
Yung pera pong
Quite
pinag-uusapan
impossible,
natin,
Mr. Chair.
125 million, pag pumunta po sa opisina, alangan mo wala lahat kayo nakita. Anyway, Congresswoman Pami Zamora, to recognize.
Mr. Chair, mabilis lang po ito. I'd just like to ask the Land Bank, nung nirelease yung 100, in the instance that the first 125 million was released, how long did that take, ma'am? Hindi po ba, ako po, base po sa experience ko, pag pupunta po ako sa bangko, kahit ano pong nilalabas nila na kahit ano pong halaga, binibilang po sa harap ko. So, binibilang din po ba itong 125 million?
In the case po ng OBP, yung 125 million, since ang bank po is, ang nirelease po that time is cash na sealed po siya directly from the BSP. So, option po ni client na hindi na kinount since sealed po siya.
So, hindi po siya binilang?
Binilang po siya by bundle but not by pieces na.
So that's ganun lang po. Binilang, hindi na po dinaan sa money counter. Ano bang tawag doon?
Machine counter, Mr.
Oo,
Mr.
yung machine. Hindi na po.
Hindi na po.
And
Nakaseal
then
na-
they cannot, you said the money came in a box. Bakit po hindi na lang po tinangay yung box? Sorry, hindi po tinangay, pangit po yung pagkasabi ko. Bakit po hindi box ang dinala?
Hindi ginamit.
Dinamit.
Option po ni client yun na hindi na nilagay sa box. So, for security reason, I think, Ms. Chair,
Apa.
kasi masyadong, yung box, kitang-kita po na it's, ano po siya, storage box ng money from BSP.
Kasi meron pong nakasulat sa box na galing po siya sa BSP, tama po ba?
Yes, Ms. Chair.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair?
With indulgence of Congressman
Yeah, with
Ruiz.
the indulgence of
Mr.
the Honorable Gutierrez.
Congressman,
Mr. Chair, can
yes.
may we
Ma'am,
be
Miss Campos na
recognized? Oo. Regarding the CCTV, the bank has a retention period of 90 days for the CCTV footages. So, we cannot provide anymore.
noted.
Mr. Chairman, since
Yes,
this
Congressman Paduano.
representation move for the submission of such CCTV, yung teller po, pina-invite na natin.
Yes.
Yung duty guard on that day.
Including the-
Yeah, we may also invite the duty guard on that day, Mr. Chairman.
With the logbook.
Yeah, so move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Congressman Acop.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Clarification lang po. Sino po ang finance ng OVP?
Yes.
Attorney Sanchez.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ako po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. You were aware na 125 million yung confidential fund ng opisina ni Vice President for 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And would you know, kailan po ko yung na-notify na na-download na yung amount na yun doon sa Office of the Vice President?
It's December 13, Mr. Chair, if I recall it correctly.
December 13 of 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
May I know why?
Mr. Chair, the Office of the Vice President requested for additional funding from the DBM, not only for the provision of confidential funds, but also for a supplemental budget for our socio-economic programs.
No. So the Vice President requested for confidential fund. Kailan po yun?
Sometime in August, Mr. Chair.
Tapos nagrantan lang ng December.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
December 13. Okay. Now, may I ask Land Bank, when was the amount withdrawn?
For the OBP, I think for the 2022, December 20, I think we'll check the document.
December
20,
2022.
2022 for the first.
One time na withdrawal.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
One time. Ang nag-withdraw, yung pong SDO, Special Dispersing Officer.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Madam, would you know, si Attorney Sanchez. Would that be correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Bakit ginastos nyo kagad ito nung period na yun when in fact you would have obligated it and you would have used it in 2023?
Mr. Chair, I do not have knowledge on the actual utilization, but in terms of the cash advance, Mr. Chair, there is no prohibition as to whether we can give the cash advance in 2022, Your Honor.
Di, kayo po ang mas marunong siguro sa SDO, ba't hindi nyo na lang sinabihan when the notice of cash allocation na receive nyo ng December 13, bakit hindi nyo na lang inobligate so that it will not be returned to the National Treasury? Kung na-obligate ninyo, you can use it in 2023. Hindi po ba, kung titignan nyo yung budget, merong unused appropriations. Number one is unobligated appropriations. At saka number two is yung hindi na-issue sa inyo. Bakit inapuran ninyo?
Mr. Chair, for the obligation of cash advance, Mr. Chair, and the documents for the request for the release of the cash advance was received by by the accounting division and the budget division on December 20, Mr. Chair.
Kaya nga, na-receive niya ngayon, December 13, tapos pinaspasan nyo ng pag-liquidate. Di po ba? And therefore, nagkamali-mali na yung inyong opisina na pag-liquidate.
Mr. Chair, as to the issuance of the cash advance, as of the time that the cash advance was issued, we did not have information on the period that it will be used because it can be used even after December 31, Mr. Chair.
Kaya ngayon nga yung katanungan ngayon December 13, nakuha nyo yung na meron ng cash for the confidential funds. The first thing that you would have done is that hindi natin magagamit itong 125 billion within 11 days. Tama?
Mr. Chair, there is no requirement under the joint circular to use it within the 11-day period because it's for one quarter.
Ginamit nyo nga sa liquidation ninyo. You use it for 11 days. That's why your office committed mistakes in the liquidation. Kasi inapuran nyo When in fact, pwede naman nyo i-obligate yun at saka nyo na lang i-liquidate. Di po ba?
Again, Mr. Chair, I would like to state for the record that I do not have knowledge on the actual utilization and disbursement from the confidential fund cash advance.
I'm amazed kasi kayo in charge ng finance sa office ng OBP, you do not know this. It's surprising on my part kasi I've worked with the controllership. Kaya nga ako nagtataka Bakit pinilit ninyo na i-liquidate o gamitin yung pondo, 125 million, in 11 days? Something must be wrong somewhere. Di po ba? Sabihin nyo sa akin, normal ba yun? Na 125 million, gamitin mo in 11 days? As a finance officer.
Mr. Chair, for the 125 million, I do not have personal knowledge, but...
Hindi. Ang tanong ko po, isagutin ninyo. Sa tingin po ninyo, being with finance, normal ba na gamitin yung 125 million in 11 days?
Mr. Chair, that would...
Yes or no?
That would depend, Mr. Chair, on the nature of the transactions, Mr. Chair.
Are you trying to tell me that you could come up with transactions within 11 days, 5 of which are holidays?
Mr. Chair...
Pakisagot lang po.
Mr. Chair, in the government, there are transactions which exceed that amount, and the payment is...
Like what, for example?
Purchases, Mr. Chair, but there may be purchases, Mr. Chair, that exceed that amount, or payment for other transactions, Mr. Chair, like...
In the office of the OVP, anong transaction na ganun?
In the OVP, Your Honor, wala po kaming ganun transaction.
Kaya huwag mo ako pagsabihan ng ganun, Iha. Kasi, you're coming up with stories or events na wala kang ebidensya. You're a lawyer, right?
Yes,
And
Mr.
you
Chair.
say something, hihingan kita ng ebidensya. Wala kang may pakita sa akin
Yes, Mr. Chair. That's why early on I stated for the record,
Hindi,
Mr. Chair.
pero for a finance officer, you do not know na it is unusual for you to use 125 million in 11 days, 5 of which are holidays. Ako, naging controller ako, alam ko na imposible. Kaya ang ginagawa ng amin ay ino-obligate namin para magamit namin sa next year. At may liquidate namin na tama. Hindi yung ginawa po ninyo. Diba? Attorney, if you're really well-versed sa finance, dapat alam mo yun.
Mr. Chair, again, for the confidential expenses and the handling of the confidential fund, cash advance for confidential fund, hindi po ako involved sa process, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. For the confidential fund of DepEd, Land Bank, ito ba yung 3 quarters of 37.5 million each? One time din ba na winidraw ito?
3 withdrawals, 37.5.
So, ano yun? Every quarter?
I will check our records, sir. I cannot remember anymore.
So, pwedeng sinasabi ninyo, in 1 month, na-withdraw lahat to.
We will check our records, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hindi rin masagot eh.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Congressman Acop. Yes, Congressman Flores.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to make a follow-up on my suggestion kanina regarding Attorney Sanchez. Do we have that data already as to where? I'm actually just concerned about the SDOs, si Fajarda and Acosta. Actually, si Attorney Ortonio doesn't need to be here. Attorney Lopez is already here, being the boss, di ba? I'm sure she could answer the questions that would be asked of Ortonio. But I just need to know where Fajarda and Acosta are, if they are on official travel.
Mr. Chair, I checked with the Central Records Unit of the Office of the Vice President. They are on official travel,
Where? What city po? What town?
but the travel order only indicated various areas.
Various. Nandali lang. Sorry, natawa ako dun. Various areas of what po? The Philippines, this planet, or the universe? Parang labo naman ng... You don't know where these persons are?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor.
At Attorney Lopez, you're the chief of staff. Wala ba tayong idea man lang, Luzon, Visayas, or Mindanao ba ang activity? Or kasi most of the questions that have been asked, to be fair, could have been answered by these two persons. They're really the ones that are needed here to answer the questions of the members of this committee. So, ang tanong ko lang po, if they are really on official travel, saan po?
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, if I may read the travel order in toto. All right. Just a moment. Travel Order 2024-1037. In the interest of public service, Edward D. Fajarda is hereby authorized to travel on official business to continue the monitoring and facilitation of the preparations and rollout of the OVP anniversary activities in various areas on November 18 to 22, 2024. And then the second would be while outside of his official station, he is authorized to collect allowance for daily travel expenses, incur actual travel expenses in accordance with executive VP funds, subject to existing budgeting.
So, parang
accounting.
general po yung travel order nila, travel authority nila. But who would be the person in the OVP who could at least give an idea as to where or what part of the Philippines they are in now?
Your Honor, as mentioned early on, we do have a rollout of...
Kaya nga, but I'm sure,
But
meron
the
naman tong
exact-
assignments, ikaw doon ka, ikaw dito ka. Di posible naman na all over lang sila, di ba? Sino po ang may alam niyan? Kasi, again, I'm gonna repeat why I want them here because most of the questions are actually directed to them, di ba?
We understand, Your
Eh,
Honor.
pangit naman, kayo tinatanong, ipapasa niyo lang din na dapat sila. It could have been, properly done kung nandito din sila. And we've been treating you fairly naman, di ba? None of you have been
We
cited in
understand.
contempt. You're all here. You're all eating your own food nga, di ba? I noticed. I think it's better than our food, di ba? So,
I do understand, Your Honor, but as mentioned earlier, number one, I have not really gone through that.
again, I'm just asking for who among the officers of the OVP would have an idea as to their exact whereabouts? None? Kasi if you're a government officer, di ba? You're assigned to travel. Aren't you supposed to show that this is my certificate of appearance? I went to this particular office to justify your travel. Tama po ba? Di ba? So saan ngayon ang pinupuntahan nila? Is it any of the offices, satellite offices of the OVP? No one will answer?
On my end, Your Honor, I really have no personal knowledge. Kasi ang nabasa ko din po is various areas.
Who gave the travel authority?
May I see again? Just a moment, please.
Sige.
The travel authority was signed by the Assistant Chief of Staff, Your Honor, Mr. Ortonio.
Pinapa-excuse ko na sana. So he's your assistant, right? Can you not call him up and say, where are these persons ba? I'm interested with Acosta and Farda.
I will try to reach out to him, Your Honor.
Also, you cannot contact your assistant, chief of staff?
Oh, because when I arrived, as mentioned earlier,
Oh.
yes, I arrived only and reported to the office yesterday. I have not seen him,
Yeah,
actually.
but I'm sure there are means of communication. You know, he being your assistant in this day and age, I'm sure someone could get in touch with anyone. Would you not agree, Attorney Lopez?
I will try to reach
Okay, I'll
out.
give you a few minutes, huh? Thank you.
No worries, Your Honor.
Yeah, just a quick manifestation, Mr. Chair. Ms. Zulay, Attorney Lopez, how long have you been in government?
Your Honor, I was a recipient of a loyalty award, so for 10 years. So I suppose more than 10
Okay.
years.
So previous to your position now, you worked as city administrator of Davao City, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So as city administrator, I'm sure travel authorities would come and go your desk.
For certain officials only, Your Honor.
Yes. So but they would come your desk. Ikaw ang pumipirma, ikaw ang signatory, ikaw may authority.
That is,
And you would know that open-ended travel orders are generally prohibited. You cannot issue a travel order that doesn't specify to where you're going, up to when will you be there, and the other details and purpose of your travel. Is that correct?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, the preparation of, when I was a city administrator, the preparation of documents as regard travel authorities is actually handled by the Human Resource Division.
Yes, I'm not asking Attorney Lopez who prepares them.
Yes.
As an attorney and as a city administrator, you know that it is prohibited, generally prohibited, to issue travel orders that are open-ended, meaning no specific place, purpose, and time.
Your Honor, I would think that in this case, it can be justified because there is a schedule of activities happening on these dates. So at the very least, I would think that it limits
So if you think it's justified,
the areas.
yes, yeah.
In this particular case, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
so if you think it's justified in this particular case, let's take this particular case as an example. So what particular places are you speaking of?
That is the matter, Your Honor, that was discussed earlier. I would have to ask and check
So
which areas.
therefore, you cannot use this example as a particular case because you yourself have no specific information as to what these various places are. Am I correct, Attorney Lopez?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, there is a list of activities happening across our satellite offices. That can be indication of which areas they will be traveling to.
So meaning, is this a regular practice in the Office of the Vice President where you issue travel orders recklessly with no specific day, with no specific place, with no specific purpose? Basta ang sinusulat nyo lang yon, various. Paano ngayon to, Attorney Lopez? Paano ngayon to, si Miss Villa del Rey? Nandiyan ba siya?
She probably went on restroom break, Your Honor.
Okay, tatanong ko na lang si Attorney Sanchez. Kung ganito yung practice sa OVP, paano nyo charge ng per dime? Tapos paano kayo nag-i-issue ng travel voucher? Paano kayo nag-i-issue ng pambayad ng ticket, pambili ng gasolina, pambayad sa kain, sa eroplano? Kung ito, sinasabi nyo, various places. Various places can mean here, there, everywhere. From the North Pole to the South Pole. So, I mean, you can't expect a committee to believe that one reason to why your officials are not present is because they're attending to activities in various places. That's totally unacceptable. Is this a practice in your office, Attorney Sanchez?
Mr. Chair, usually before we issue a travel order, there are attachments to it. The first one would be the request for
I'm
travel
not asking that,
authority.
Attorney Sanchez. I know the process because I used to work